Hello friends, got here chapter 5 of my Cinder Shadows LTC, and just as a forewarning, I accidentally screwed up a couple of times replicating what should have been like a clean setup till the last turn. Messed up a couple of times, so there's going to be jumps. I'll try to warn you. Because I just cut out my failed attempts. Like, I don't want you guys to slog through that. But anyway, what's happening on this map is another route map, and there's enemies pretty much all over the map. But luckily we start from a relatively center of the map rather than a corner.
Sure thing.
So, and the map's not too big, so it's not the biggest deal. But nonetheless, it's going to be a challenge to optimize. So I don't think a 3-turn is possible, but the 4-turn I got here is already hard enough, so enough about that.
Yep.
My plan is to use Dimitri to... He has the hero class again, and he is going to be Vantage Battalion Wrathing again, just like in chapter 2.
Much needed.
Edelgard and Byleth, and Elfric will be
Stay focused.
kind of going towards the left. We saw Claude, Hilda, Linhardt, and Yuri kind of on the right. And then Constance did a bolting turn. I hit like one of those armors next to Methody, and that will aggro them. So normally they just stand still until they are aggroed, and that will aggro them, and that's what I want. And something to note is that if I crit that armor, it's actually bad, because then he will not actually... So one of the armors will die, and the other one will not aggro for whatever reason. Just a funny note, because I do have to reset if I get a crit. Well, I don't have to reset, but I have to like Divine Pulse and change it. And then Happy killed one of those, that armor in the center on the left, because otherwise it would have been able to attack Dimitri there. But then Happy's actually going to go to the right side now and join up with Split. So my goal is to be able to clear all of these guys by turn 4. And the mechanic, or like the gimmick on this map is, once you kill that leader on the top left, several monsters will spawn, and then all of the enemies, all the non-monster enemies will be rattled for 1 turn, so as if they were hit by a gambit. So they suffer stat penalty, and I'm not sure if they I don't think they can use their gambits. Don't know, because it's not relevant for me on this turn. But it makes killing things a lot easier. Because they take more damage and they have less speed. And also, actually the biggest thing, so the reason I don't let Byleth kill them on the enemy phase, because if so like my first iterations of this run start off with Byleth gambiting that leader, and the leader would suicide first thing. But the issue is that the monsters aren't on the map, and I do want to attack this bird. Because otherwise, it actually will aggro onto Happy, who has like her personal skill. Basically guarantees monster aggro, and I don't want that to happen actually. So this way, the bird spawns on my turn, and then Hilda can gambit and therefore aggro that bird. So Claude's just gonna kill that guy. We're gonna chip away at these people, and my positioning doesn't have to be so careful because they're all rattled. They can't move for this turn. Okay, so this move right here is very important. Constance using bolting on that bishop down there. That's very important because those are the two wolves down there are going to attack the bishop. But the bishop has exactly enough HP and defense so that it cannot die in one round to a wolf unless the wolf crits. So by bolting, it ensures that the first wolf that attacks can kill it in one round, and that's very important. You'll see why on the enemy phase here.
I knew you had it in you.
But yeah, let's talk about Balthus. He used a Gambit turn 1 just to break its shield, and pretty much all he's going to do for this whole run is just kill that bird. He's going to fight on 1v1. And as long as he hits the Gambit on turn 1, he will... It's very hard for him to fail to kill this bird, since he has 4 turns to do it, like plus some enemy phasing. Now here, yeah, so Hilda aggro's and can, with the way I positioned and the area that I gambited, he had to attack me from an angle where his shield was broken. Okay, and then the second wolf, since that bishop's dead, attacks this mage. And the reason that's relevant is not that he attacks the mage in particular, it's that the wolf like moves up there. Otherwise it like stays down at the bottom edge of the map, which is like out of the way of a lot of aggro. So first we're going to take care of this top left side. Helmfrick finishes off some stuff. Edelgard Gambit's up there while equipping a sword so that she can enemy phase that assassin. Ashe gets the one-hit KO here on the bird. So that's why it's nice that the bird suicide on Hilda on the enemy phase. And here's going to be a jump because I screwed up a couple of times.
Ready and
So we're at the same spot again, but yeah, so Claude here is going to curved shot this archer, and then he is going to sit in the thickets here so that he can bait the armor that's in the center there.
Who, me?
And then we're going to spend some time finishing off these units here. And here I'm just checking my notes, make sure I'm doing moves in the right order.
Yep.
So Happy is going to kill that archer, and then she's going to actually end turn right here in front of the armor. And the reason she wants to be there in particular is because that's right inside of Metidy's attack range. And Metedy normally just doesn't move until you aggro him. But by standing in his range, he will get aggroed. But he actually can't attack
I'd like to take it easy.
because there's that armor knight in the way.
I could have been
So what's going to happen is that Metidy's going to attack that monster, or that wolf instead. Normally, like if Happy's not there, but the wolf is there, he still won't attack the wolf. I need to aggro him with one of my units. So that's kind of the trick I'm pulling there. So here, yeah, as I said, Metedy attacks that wolf. Getting some enemy phasing with Byleth here. And I guess I didn't really talk about it, but Dimitri is now like in the thick of things. If you saw, yeah, he's not going to be Vantage Battalion Wrathing this turn. This turn I want, well, he might Vantage a few things this turn, but for the most part I want the enemies to be killing the wolves, because if I leave like the wolves alive, or like if the wolves are alive on the next turn, then some amount of enemies will attack the wolves, which means they aren't attacking me, which means they won't die in the enemy phase, which would cost me more turns. So I just want the wolves to be dead as soon as possible, and then I can have the enemy suicide into Dimitri guaranteed. Um, so, with the way Dimitri's threshold is, some enemies attack him instead of the wolf. That's fine. As long as like one wolf is dead and the other is like on its last life, like really low, I can kind of salvage it. Ideally, the wolves are just dead though. So I'm going to start off by
Yep.
having Happy Gambit Metody just to take him down a bunch of HP, and also yeah, get some reduced stats from Rattle. Also breaks part of the shield of the wolf. That's easier to kill. And then, oh yeah, okay, there's a jump there because I messed up. I put Happy in the wrong spot. I have to move her, I have to Kanto all the way back, or else she's in range of that Paladin, which is really stupid.
Who, me?
So here, I gamble like a 60% on Hilda. Really risky, but honestly, since they failed to kill the wolf, I consider it even.
I'd like to take it
And I
easy.
Kanto Hilda, make sure she's not in range of that armor dude on the right. So that I want that armor dude, the suicide Happy on the enemy phase. Now here, Yuri will gambit that assassin, and then I will be killing with Constance. I really want to kill all assassins before the enemy phase because they have gambits, and they will use gambits on Dimitri. So basically, I just want enemies without gambits to be attacking Dimitri. And then Claude, curve shot, pretty much guaranteed kill on the wolf. And then Dimitri will use the battalion on this hero to disable his battalion.
I will prevail.
So now everything will be attacking Dimitri in that zone, and they cannot use any gambits. Very important. And then Byleth and Alfric will finish off these bubs. And then we just pray that Dimitri will land the crits. And then, I suppose it bears mentioning in case you haven't seen my chapter 2, or maybe, I don't remember which chapters, but Yuri has stealth from his trickster class, which makes him low priority target, so everything will attack Dimitri. That's why Yuri can just kind of be in there, just so awesome. Yeah, and Dimitri just takes care of business. And then Happy will finish off the map by killing that army. So there it is, chapter 5 in 4 turns.